Black Bolt and White Flare give upgrades to Gholdengo EX that might make it the best deck in the format when it becomes legal. The new Genesect EX is absolutely broken. Going over the deck list here, we do have the 4 Gimme Ghoul and 4 Gholdengo EX. Gholdengo is your main draw engine in this deck. Coin bonus allows you to draw 2 cards if it's in the active spot and 1 card if it's on your bench, allowing you to draw 5 to 6 cards if you use the air balloon to retreat it to use the active coin bonus multiple times in one turn. The Scyther and Scizor in this deck is so crucial to have. The Punishing Scissors attack does 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that have an ability. This card is crucial to be able to beat decks like the Crustle deck that doesn't allow EX Pokemon to hit it, Mimikyu, other cards such as Cornerstone Ogerpon. There's just so many cards in the format right now that have abilities that don't allow damage from EX Pokemon or Pokemon with abilities, which Gholdengo is both of those. So we need the Scizor to be able to take knockouts on those Pokemon so we don't automatically lose. The star of the show, the most powerful card that has been added to Gholdengo is Genesect EX. From Black Bolt, the Metallic Signal ability allows you to search for 2 Evolution Metal Pokemon every single turn. We play 4 Gholdengo EX and 2 Scizor, so you can search up to 6 cards with this single Genesect EX being inside of your deck. Allows you to cut down on cards such as Ultra Ball and just makes your deck thin out and allow you to find more powerful cards even faster. If you play all 4 Gholdengo and your Genesect EX and a card such as Arven or Cypher Maniac, you're seeing 10 plus cards every single turn. This card just is absolutely busted. This card, it makes Gholdengo go from, kind of like an A, B tier deck, depending on, the format that you're playing in, to kind of like an S tier, borderline, best deck in format, because the consistency it gives Gholdengo is just absolutely crazy. We also play the Fezandipiti EX. Fezandipiti is probably just the strongest card in the entire format. Flip the Script allows you to draw 3 cards if your opponent takes a knockout on the previous turn. If you start piling up the abilities, Coin Bonus, Flip the Script, Metallic Signal, you can see so many cards every single turn if your opponent takes a knockout on the previous turn. The basic baby form Genesect with its Ace Nullifier ability is really, really strong against the Mirror Match. The Mirror Match, this Genesect card can just easily win you the game. If your opponent's Gholdengo deck cannot grab their Ace Spec, the Energy Search Pro, they just can never get enough energy to be able to take knockouts or get enough energy in the discard pile, because most Gholdengo decks have gotten rid of cards such as Ultra Ball because they now have the Genesect EX. So if you play this Ace Nullifier, attach a air balloon to it, you are able to shut off things like Energy Search Pro, you turn off Prime Catcher, you turn off Reset Stamp, you turn off a lot of really, really strong Ace Spec cards. Sparkling Crystal has seen a kind of an uptick as well. Just not being able to play your Ace Spec is very, very powerful. As long as you're the one who is using the Genesect and it's not being used against you, you're going to have a good time. We play the 4 Arven. We need to be able to search for our Buddy Poffin Energy Search Pro. We have a lot of one-of item cards to be able to search with Arven. Arven is the card that makes this deck go. Being able to find your Air Balloon, your TM Evo, and your one-of item cards just makes this deck function at such a high level. You can find your Counter Catcher. You can find Switch, Ultra Ball, Earthen Vessel, Buddy Poffin to set up in the early game with your TM Evo to evolve, find your Super Energy Retrieval, find a Nest Ball just to get the Genesect so you can get 2 Gholdengo EX in play. The options are limitless with Arven being inside of this deck. 2 Bosses Order, sometimes you just want to go after the more optimal target, sometimes you want to take out your opponent's Fezandipiti. Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking allows you to set up combos with Gholdengo EX. Coin Bonus allows you to draw 2 cards. Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking allows you to put 2 cards of any choice in your deck on top of your deck, and you can immediately draw into those. Most of the time, you use your Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking for 2 Super Energy Retrievals or your Energy Search Pro and a Buddy Poffin. Just kind of depends on where you're at in the game. You can also use it just to grab energies. If your opponent has you item locked, you can use it to just grab 2 straight energies to be able to take knockouts on things such as Badoo. For Nest Ball, you have to be able to search for your Genesect, your Gimme Ghouls, your Scyther, your Fezandipiti, your Ace Nullifier Genesect. Super Energy Retrieval allows you to continuously attack with your Gholdengo EX. You have to have 4 of each of those to make this deck function properly. For Buddy Poffin, this is a card you could probably go down to 3 of, but I really like having Buddy Poffin in the early game. If you go first, you have a Buddy Poffin in hand, you could grab double Gimme Ghoul. then you're able to, get going with your draw engine very, very quickly. 2 Night Stretcher, you just have to be able to pull back things such as the Ace Nullifier Genesect. Sometimes you have to be able to pull back an energy card to be able to attack with, or just grab your Genesect EX, Gholdengo AX, whatever you need. 2 Night Stretcher just seems like it works. Super Rod has not felt necessary in this deck at all. Energy Search Pro, we play one of each energy type to be able to do maximum damage with Gholdengo. You could take massive turn 2 knockouts. As long as you go first, your opponent leaves a 2-prizer in the active. You're able to take pretty big knockouts on your second turn, with Genesect being kind of the catalyst in all of that. 1 counter catcher just to be able to search with Arven. Most games you're just so aggressively taking knockouts that the counter catcher isn't really necessary, but whenever you're able to search counter catcher and like an air balloon with your Arven to be able to gust up the optimal target, it can just win you the game. Like being able to use counter catcher against your opponent if they take like a single prize knockout going second, being able to use counter catcher is just so strong that it's just a good one of in the deck. You could cut that for a third boss's orders, and it wouldn't really change too much because you're taking prize cards so aggressively yourself. Most of the games that you're going to play, counter catcher is just going to be discarded by Super Energy Retrieval, Earthen Vessel, or your Ultra Ball. We play 1 Ultra Ball and 1 Switch just to be able to get out of the active spot. You can also use Switch in combination with Air Balloon to be able to pivot around multiple Gholdengos. Up to 3 2-card draw coin bonuses with Switch and Air Balloon, and just your normal attachment for turn onto the 3rd Gholdengo, and you're swinging with a 6-card draw. It's just absolutely crazy. We play the 1 Earthen Vessel. Sometimes you just need to be able to find a couple of metal energies. After you use your Energy Search Pro, you still have 2-3 metal energies in your deck. You can use the Earthen Vessel to grab those out. Most of the time I use Earthen Vessel to grab out the lightning energies because we do play the Levincia. You want the lightning energies to be discarded as soon as possible so you can recycle them as much as possible. Most decks are only playing 3 stadiums right now, so you can usually have your Levincia stadium stick and play for the majority of the match if you play it right. We have 2 air balloon. 1 air balloon has to go on the Ace Nullifier Genesect, and the other air balloon normally ends up either on your Genesect EX or a Gholdengo to be able to pivot around, to be able to draw more with coin bonus. If I was to cut 1 card, it would definitely be this TM Evolution for a 3rd air balloon. TM Evolution is very, very strong. If you are item locked, you can play Arven, attach an energy, do your TM Evo, and just evolve that way. Most games, it doesn't really come up because the Genesect is just so readily available. If you cut the TM Evo, you could add an air balloon, and you could even cut the 1 Ultra Ball to add in a 2nd Genesect. But just having the search option for Ultra Ball and Arven to be able to pull out a specific card, and just more Pokemon search in general, is always good for a deck that needs multiple cards to perform at its peak power. But a 3rd air balloon and a 2nd Genesect are definitely the considerations for this deck. The cards to cut would be Counter Catcher, Ultra Ball, and TM Evo. 2 of the 3 of those cards for an Air Balloon or Genesect would make sense, but I really like having options in my deck, especially in the best of 1 format. Just having options usually ends up being better than having 2 or 3 of the same card. That makes your deck just slightly more consistent. Levincia allows you to get back 2 lightning energies, just extra 100 damage every single turn. Stadium bump, you want to be able to bump artisans, you want to be able to bump the area zeros. You want to be able to bump neutralization zone, which has kind of been popping up in like Typhlosion decks and the Crustle decks. Jamming Tower really helps against Crustle. Luxurious Cape Crustle is kind of hard for you to deal with otherwise. You have to be really careful with when you attack it, though. If they have a single Crustle in the active spot, you really have to get a couple of attacks in with your Scizor before you play the Jamming Tower. Otherwise, they will just heal it with the, the Pokemon Vital A to heal off all the damage. So just play the Jamming Tower at the optimal time. It's really good against Gardevoir to be able to knock out their Brave Charmed Pokemon that they've gone over the base HP with. Turns off Sparkling Crystal. It turns off your opponent's air balloons, which is a really, really big deal right now. My preference to play this card, it's not 100% necessary, but after you've used it a few times and it's helped you win matches, you will understand the value and you'll be like, this is a very necessary card in the current format. We play 4 metal energies. This could go down to 3, but I really like having 4 because you play the Energy Search Pro and it allows you to get 1 of those metal energy. Earthen Vessel allows you to grab the other 2, and just if you prize 1, then you're still okay. If you prize 2, you're having a bad time, but it's not completely unmanageable, and it just makes it more likely for you to draw into. So you can manually attach to like your Scyther Scizor if it's in the active. You do want to have your Scyther in the active most of the time because it does have the free pivot option, and then the Air Balloon Pokemon whenever you don't have the Scyther. 4 basic metal energy is what I prefer. 3, you could use 3. So far, we've kind of talked about metal energy, Jamming Tower, Ultra Ball, Counter Catcher, and TM as kind of optional cards for potentially Air Balloon, a third Air Balloon, and a second Genesect. Any of those cards are kind of interchangeable, but this is just the list that I've come up with that's felt the best. And it's allowed me to win most mirror matches specifically, and it's just felt more powerful than other Gholdengo decks that I've played so far. We play the 2 Lightning Energy to be able to utilize Lavencia, and then 1 of each of the other basic energies to be able to pull out with Energy Search Pro. Overall, Gholdengo EX feels so powerful into the current meta. Does struggle a little bit against Cornerstone Ogrepon and the Crustle deck, but you could definitely just blow up your opponent's board state before they can get those set up without much of a draw. I mean, honestly, you just get a couple Gimmighoul down, you get the Genesect down, and you're kind of rolling from there. You draw so many cards, you see so many cards, you're able to retrieve so many cards that it just runs over just about every single deck in the format right now. You could go first or you could go second. The TM Evo allows for going second plays and going first if you have a Buddy Puffin or Nest Ball, and then you get the Genesect down. You could draw, 4 cards by your second turn off of its ability Metallic Signal. Just you draw so much, you hit so hard, and you have options for the non-EX attacker in Sizor. It's just a very strong option right now. I'm going to take this deck to a League Cup in about a week. Let me know what you guys think of Gholdengo EX with the new Genesect and Air Balloon cards. Make sure you check out this video right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.